What if three brothers held the power to control every aspect of existence itself? What if their family drama could literally shake the foundations of reality? Welcome to the story of Zeus, Hades, and Poseidon, the three most powerful gods in Greek mythology, whose brotherly bonds shaped the entire cosmos. In ancient Greece, people didn't just worship these gods. They lived in constant awareness of their presence. Every thunderstorm was Zeus flexing his might. Every earthquake reminded mortals of Poseidon's fury. Every death was a journey to Hades' domain. These weren't distant deities, they were active forces that governed daily life. But before they ruled the world, these three brothers were prisoners. Their father, Kronos, the Titan king, had received a terrifying prophecy. One of his children would overthrow him, just as he had overthrown his own father. Kronos' solution was brutal and simple. He swallowed each child the moment they were born. One by one, Kronos devoured his offspring. Hestia, Demeter, Hera, Hades, and Poseidon all disappeared into their father's stomach. But when Zeus was born, their mother Rhea had finally had enough. She wrapped a stone in baby clothes and watched as Kronos swallowed it whole, believing he'd consumed his youngest son. Meanwhile, baby Zeus was secretly raised on the island of Crete. Zeus grew up knowing his destiny. When he reached adulthood, he returned to face his father with a plan that would change everything. He tricked Kronos into drinking a potion that forced him to vomit up all the children he'd swallowed. Imagine the scene. 5 fully grown gods emerging from their father's stomach, ready for war. The three brothers immediately formed an alliance. Zeus, the youngest but most cunning, became their leader. Poseidon brought the fury of the seas. Hades commanded the wealth of the earth and the power of the underworld spirits. Together with their sisters, they launched the greatest war in mythological history, the Titanomachy. For 10 years, the war raged. The older generation of Titans, led by Kronos, fought against the younger Olympian gods. Mountains crumbled, the earth split open. The very fabric of reality trembled under the assault. But the three brothers had something their enemies lacked: unity born from shared suffering. Zeus freed the Cyclopes from their prison in Tartarus, and in gratitude they forged weapons of incredible power. To Zeus, they gave thunderbolts that could shatter mountains. To Poseidon, they crafted a trident that could create earthquakes and tidal waves. To Hades, they presented a helmet of invisibility that made him undetectable to enemies. The tide of war turned. The brothers' combined might proved unstoppable. Zeus hurled his thunderbolts from the heavens. Poseidon unleashed tsunamis and earthquakes. Hades struck from the shadows, invisible and terrifying. The Titans fell one by one until Kronos himself was defeated and cast into the depths of Tartarus. But victory brought a new challenge: how to divide the cosmos they'd conquered. The three brothers faced a decision that would define their relationship forever. Rather than fight among themselves, they chose to draw lots, letting fate decide their domains. Zeus drew the heavens and became king of the gods. His domain included the sky, weather, and divine justice. From Mount Olympus, he would rule over gods and mortals alike. The Thunderbolt became his symbol, representing swift and decisive power. Poseidon claimed the seas and all waters. His realm encompassed oceans, rivers, springs, and even horses, which the Greeks believed he created. The Trident became his symbol, representing his ability to stir both calm seas and devastating storms. He built an underwater palace that rivaled Olympus in splendor. Hades received what many considered the worst lot: the underworld and dominion over the dead. But Hades understood something his brothers didn't. His realm contained all the precious metals and gems hidden beneath the earth, making him incredibly wealthy. He became known as Pluton, meaning the wealthy one. His domain was vast, housing every soul that had ever died. The earth itself remained common territory, shared among all three. This arrangement created both cooperation and tension. When mortals prayed for rain, they needed Zeus to provide storms and Poseidon to bring clouds from the sea. When earthquakes struck, it might be Poseidon's anger or the stirring of spirits in Hades' realm. Their personalities reflected their domains perfectly. Zeus was authoritative and quick to anger, prone to dramatic displays of power. He loved being worshipped and demanded respect from both gods and mortals. Poseidon was tempestuous and unpredictable, like the seas he ruled. His moods could shift from calm to violent in an instant. Hades was stern but fair, understanding the weight of his responsibilities to the dead. Despite ruling separate realms, the brothers remained deeply connected. They consulted each other on major decisions affecting the cosmos. When the other gods rebelled against Zeus, Poseidon and Hades could have joined the uprising, but chose loyalty to their brother instead. When Poseidon and Athena competed for the patronage of Athens, Zeus served as judge. When Hades needed permission to marry Persephone, he sought Zeus's approval first. Yet their relationship wasn't without conflict. Poseidon sometimes challenged Zeus's authority, believing his own domain was equally important. Hades resented being excluded from Olympian gatherings, feeling forgotten in his underground realm. Zeus occasionally overstepped his bounds, making decisions that affected his brother's domains without consultation. Their bond transcended typical sibling rivalry because they understood cosmic balance. Zeus couldn't maintain order without Poseidon controlling the seas or Hades managing the afterlife. Poseidon's storms needed Zeus's winds to be effective. Hades relied on his brothers to send him souls through war, natural disasters, and divine justice. This interdependence created a unique form of cooperation. When mortals offended one brother, all three might unite in punishment. When they needed to maintain cosmic order, their combined power was absolute. The Trojan War saw all three brothers taking sides, their conflicts playing out through mortal champions. The Greeks understood that these three gods represented fundamental forces of existence: authority, change, and finality. Zeus embodied leadership and divine justice. Poseidon represented the unpredictable forces of nature. Hades symbolized the inevitable reality of death and the hidden wealth of the earth. Modern psychology recognizes archetypes in these three brothers. Zeus represents the ego and conscious authority. Poseidon embodies the unconscious and emotional depths. Hades symbolizes transformation and the shadow aspects of existence. Together, they form a complete picture of the human psyche's different aspects. Their story teaches us about power, responsibility, and family bonds. Despite having ultimate power, they chose cooperation over conquest. Their strength came not from individual might, but from unity forged through shared struggle. They show us that even gods must work together to maintain order in their world. The tale of Zeus, Hades, and Poseidon continues to resonate because it reflects eternal truths about leadership, cooperation, and the forces that shape our world. Their brotherly bond, tested by war, strengthened by victory, and maintained through mutual respect, reminds us that even the mightiest powers are stronger when united than when standing alone. For more powerful myths and legends, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Mythic Narratives Hub.